Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Legacy, and as you can see before you, I'm playing Burn. And this deck comes from subscriber Terrence, and Terrence has a story about this Burn deck. Terrence is trying to relive his glory days from when he won a Star City Games Classic back in 2017. And not only did he win this tournament, he knocked some poor sucker out of top 8 contention along the way. Yep, I didn't remember this, but Terrence emailed me and said, hey, we played in 2017. I beat you in the Swiss. You were on Grixis Delver, and I went on to win the whole thing. And the story checks out. Here I am, sadly in 10th. Let's look at this deck real quick. Deathrite Shaman, Gitaxian Probe. Oh, baby. What a time to be alive that was. But Terrence got away with that one. First place with Burn. And Terrence wants to revisit that. I spent some time clicking around, looking for modern, or, I mean, legacy, but present day Burn list to see what Burn players were up to these days. And you have to go pretty deep to find a Burn list, honestly. Clicking around MTG Goldfish, the first 5.0 I could find was over a month old, which in MTGO time is thousands of years. That's pretty hostile. It took a long time before that to find another one. There are a bunch of decks posted along the way that are like 0-2 drop with Burn or like 1-3 the challenge. There's not a lot of success out of Burn right now. And I'm trying to figure out why that might be. Are people gaining life? Are games ending too quickly? Or both? What's going on in Legacy Leagues right now that Burn is not putting up numbers? Obviously, the answer is Uro is a huge shot against Burn. You cast the front half of Uro, it undoes an entire Lava Spike that plus draws a card that's like a Mind Rot worth of value. And you let the game go on long enough, Uro comes back in. Burn has a really hard time beating that card. Like, you just have to win first or cash out on your sideboard. And it's just rough out there. So I have added some ways to stop life gain to the sideboard, but we're mostly just trying to get the game over with before Uro cashes out. This is a pretty standard Burn deck in the main. Got the creatures, 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Swiftspear, 4 Eidolon. Those repeatable sources of damage are very important. You can keep a handful of spells and you'll probably be good for 15 damage and hope your top decks pay out. But if you have one of these repeatable things, if you can get 4 damage off a single card, you're in the money. That's a good rate. You'll notice there is no Ragavan in this deck. There's no Dragon's Rage Channel in this deck. And the reasons are, Burn is just structurally built to never give your opponent a good trade. They should always be playing from behind. They should always have taken damage from something already before they get to answer it cleanly. Like, if you play... Let's think about a game where you have Goblin Guide on turn 1. Goblin Guide's in play, attacks, bang, they're at 18. They untap, draw, fetch, Swords to Plowshares. They're still at 17 and they've spent a card. You play that same turn with Ragavan, cast Ragavan, they answer it, they're at 19, and it's just a clean answer. Your card didn't do anything, and now you're behind as the Burn player. You got to put them behind, and Ragavan just doesn't do what Burn wants, which I think is a pretty cool design for Ragavan. Like, if you think about a game where Goblin Guide connects twice out of Burn, how often are you winning that game? Probably a lot of the time. And then think about a game where Ragavan connects twice out of Burn. And first of all, that takes an entire turn longer to do because Ragavan doesn't have haste. Plus, it actually has to connect. Plus, it's a 2-1. Plus, you're not even gaining anything off of that. Like, it just doesn't do what you need it to. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a little better because it turns all your lightning bolts into card selection. Like, you basically get a little opt out of a lava spike, which is nice. But that creature also isn't really good at getting Delirious in this deck. You'd have to be playing Mishra's Baubles and shit, and then you're just playing a different deck. So I considered the new spice and decided to go with the old classics. I am on Grim Lavamancer, which not every deck plays, but that is a repeatable source of damage. It's an answer to things like Ragavan and Delver and things you might need to answer. Because we have Lavamancer, we play with fetch lands rather than the mono basic mana base. Fiery Islet also fuels the Lavamancer. The fetch lands also fuel Searing Blaze. I've split that between the main and the side of 4 and 4, because some decks don't have creatures, but some decks do. So you don't want to draw too many of these when there's no targets, and you want to draw a lot of them when there are. And that's how I split that difference. Chain Lightning, Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Skewer the Critics, Fire Blast. These are all the spells you'd expect. I have 2 Price of Progress, and there's 1 more in the sideboard. This isn't great against every deck, but when you want it, much like Searing Blaze, so I'm messing with the numbers of that. And the last important thing to note about this deck is that Terrence wanted me to play with the Arabian Nights Basic Mountain. There's no Arabian Nights on Magic Online, but Masters Edition 1 does have the Arabian Nights Mountain art, and there it is in all its glory. Terrence, this is Burn, this is for you. Let's get into it. I'm on the draw here in the first round with a perfectly keepable hand. I would be in love with this hand on the play. On the draw, we're going to make it work. Ooh, we're playing against some sort of lands deck. Let's see how fast they Merit Lage. Dark Confidant. Oh, I got bad news for you, fella. Okay, I am going to crack a fetch land. I would have saved the 1 and just played Mountain, but now that I have another one in case I want to be hitting landfall and stuff later on, that I want to use the deck thinning and just draw spells for now. The race here is going to be, can they make Merit Lage before they get popped? Revealed a second Dark Confidant. That's disappointing for them. There's Urborg. So we are actually dead to crop rotation. Is that the 1 card in their hand? And of course it is. All right, we're done. All right. They are a combo deck. If they had a slower hand, we were set up, but they didn't, and we are wrecked. It is as if I pointed out in the deck tech that fast combo is rough for our heroes right now. Okay, Ensnaring Bridge coming in. This is my answer to a big creature. This is my answer to Show and Tell. It's my answer to Merit Lage. The trick is getting it into play fast enough. They might have artifacts in this deck. We saw the Mox Diamond. They might have things like Pithing Needle, but I imagine they would board those out. Searing Blaze will usually find a target in this deck. Like, the creature doesn't have to be in play for long. Like, it just has to be there to target. Because Searing Blaze deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker and 1 damage to target creature that player or planeswalker's controller controls. So you need a creature to target, and you need a player or planeswalker to target. But all those things don't need to be legal when it resolves, because it will still have a legal target. The word target is here twice. They can't, like, sack a Hexmage to fizzle this card. The question is, do I want to be pointing these at Bobs? Do they have Bobs they're going to bring in? Do I just want to burn them out over the top of all that? And I think I want to go slim here and just bring in the Ensnaring Bridges. I wish I were more versed in burn countermeasures, because I don't know what artifact, like, they might have some busted artifact that's just like burn can't win anymore, but I can't imagine what it is out of this deck. Grim Lavamancer is a card I'm looking at. Do I think Grim Lavamancer will deal more damage than Searing Blaze over the course of a game? Because this is a card that is grindy. This is something you want to sit and play and do work with both the spells you put in your graveyard over a longer game and pick off things that might happen over a longer game. And I think that in a shorter game like this, Searing Blaze is the line. And I'm going to go with my deck like this. Again, not a burn expert, but I'm doing my best as a Magic player to figure out what a burn player might do in these spots. Okay, I have the sideboard card. My hand's not great outside of it, but hopefully we can get there on it. But they are a deck that plays discard, so there there are some concerns here. Lightning, just get my damage in. Spend my mana every turn. Try to get them dead. They're going to be really suspicious if I pass with 2 mana up next turn without casting a spell. Please don't Inquisition of Kozilek me. Mox Diamond. Okay. Price of Progress, currently good for 0 damage. Elvish Reclaimer. Alright. I can beat that one eventually. That's a good reason to have all the Searing Blazes in the deck. If there's a game 3, I'll bring them in. Now that we've seen Reclaimer, Bob, and Hexmage. Another one. Alright. They're going in. They don't need to worry about Pyroclasm. That's not a card that I have. Rift Bolt's a cool one. That gives me something to do with my mana here. And let's hope that this Ensnaring Bridge gets to hit the battlefield before I'm dead. This card is extremely powerful against Burn in general. That's a way that decks can trade 1-for-1 with Burn without taking 3 damage along the way. Like, Duress is really powerful. Inquisition of Kozilek's really powerful, but that's not usually a legacy card. Thoughtseize is powerful, it's just like, you usually end up saving 2 life off of it instead of 3 or 4. They're going for something here. Another one. They have a black floating. If their last card is Duress, I'm done. I quit. Okay. Their last card was not Duress. They are on Aggro Reclaimer, though. I'm just going upstairs here with the Rift Bolt. Can't kill a 3-4 anyway, so the right play is also the only play. 2 Fire Blasts. That hurts my Ensnaring Bridge strat. I'm gonna jam Ensnaring Bridge. I'll probably Fire Blast them before combat. I don't think I can just take 9 here and hope that my hand will be more empty next turn. Sylvan Library, alright. Can I take 9 and just... Because, like, I could cast the Price of Progress. Drawing a 2-drop... I'm gonna take the 9, actually. Because getting stuck under Ensnaring Bridge seems even more likely if I just can't cast any spells. Nice. Alright, gonna sneak in for a cheeky 2 points on my way through. Goblin Guide. Revealed Abrupt Decay. Shit. Alright, we're in trouble, squad. I'm dead. Literally just dead. Alright, they had a better sideboard plan than me. Or they had a better start. This triple Reclaimer business. Just, who's the burn deck now? Maybe they'll pay 8 off Sylvan Library and then die. They don't need to Abrupt Decay yet, but it looks like they're going to anyway. Yep. Alright. And I'm dead. Yeah, they offered a really quick clock there. They had to answer to my sideboard card, and it is what it is. They played that whole game without putting a non-basic land into play. So Price of Progress stranded as well. Rough stuff. It's tough in these streets for Burn. Next round. I'm on the draw in the second round with this hand. I'm going to keep it. It has 2 mana and spends it pretty well. I wish this Lavamancer was a Goblin Guide, but here we are. We're playing Burn. You keep playable hands. Got a snow-covered island from the enemy. Oh, that's the card I asked for. Let's go. If your opponent plays basic island, you get in with Goblin Guide. It's time. Oh god, they revealed Dark Ritual. My life is pain. Alright, let's untap and cast this Eidolon of the Great Revel. It does appear we're playing against Doomsday. But that is a deck that uses its life total as a significant resource. Like, when you cast Doomsday, or when Doomsday resolves, you lose half your life rounded up. So they have like a 10-point burn spell in their own deck. I just gotta put the right pressure on. If I get this Eidolon in and I'm still alive, I'll feel pretty good. They did not shuffle that Ponder. There's a black source that they can Dark Ritual with. And I'm getting my thoughts seized. So my Eidolon's probably taking a break here. But I still have a Flurry of Fire I can send their way. Yep, Eidolon's gone for sure. On the play, this game is already over. But we're not on the play. Deal with it. Drawing Swift Spear is pretty great. That puts extra pressure on the board right meow. I'm gonna spike to get my prowess trigger. Reduce their life total some more. See if this gets dazed. Nope. They're just taking their medicine. And we get in. They have Lion's Eye Diamond on top of the deck. Guess we can't be sure that they're Doomsday. They could be Ad Nauseam Tendrils. This is not the Epic Storm, based on what we've seen. Ad Nauseam is basically off the table at this point. If they have a deterministic Past in Flames line, we're in trouble. If they have a deterministic Doomsday line, we're in trouble. If they are Peer into the Abyss, we're in trouble. Rain of Filth. That's not a Doomsday card. We are playing against a deck with Tendrils in it, it seems. There's the LED, one card left. I bet it's a tutor. I would have won that bet. They made black with their Lion's Eye Diamond. If they Past in Flames, they can Dark Ritual, tutor again. There's no storm count right now, so I'm not sure where we are. Moto's not showing it to me. We got Dark Ritual, Rain of Filth, LED, Infernal Tutor, so storm is 4 right now. If they have a Peer into the Abyss, they get to avoid that whole thing. Alright, Past in Flame, storm is 5. And then Ritual, Rain, Tutor. Yeah, I don't think we're quite there yet. They have no floating mana. Was that a misclick? Why'd they... Oh, no, Rain of Filth is still in play here, or still affecting these two lands. They played the Volcanic Island after the rain, so they have 2 black in play right now if they want to sack lands. Show me a shuffle off this Ponder, though. Yeah, right now they're just on Dark Ritual, make 3 mana. That's not enough to tutor for Tendrils. They need some help. They chose to shuffle. Do not show me Lion's Eye Diamond right now, you animal. Okay, they packed it up. We were able to pressure the life total enough that they couldn't take an Ad Nauseam line, and then their Past in Flame line didn't get there. Alright, the clock was there. Pyrostatic Pillar. This is the type of matchup this is for. You just want more Eidolons, that's your best card. Searing Blaze is not going to find a target in this matchup. Price of Progress is not great in this matchup. There just aren't going to be a lot of lands in play at the end of the game. What do I want over it? I don't think I want something like Meltdown. Meltdown is generally to remove things like Chalice of the Void or a series of threatening construct tokens or something like that. It's not here to just like kill their Lotus Petal, maybe. I could bring in some Smash to Smithereens though, which targeting a Lotus Petal or an LED will not deal damage to them, but it will mess up their mana availability. This is rough. I don't actually have a whole lot of... Oh wait, no, this is the money. Jesus. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, Roiling Vortex deals 5 to them. Yeah, their deck's full of LEDs and Lotus Petals. I briefly forgot about the first half of the middle section of this card. This deals 1 during each upkeep. You can pay a red for opponents not to be able to gain life, and then right in the middle, if someone pays 0 for a spell, they take 5. Yeah, that's the one. In we go. Hope I didn't scare you all too much by not immediately adding that to the deck. My hand has Eidolon in it. I'm going to keep. Opponent basically has to mulligan for a turn 2 kill or a discard spell that can remove Eidolon. As I don't think they're going to be well set up to play an Eidolon game. I guess they could Chain of Vapor at a medium life total and still go off on turn 3, so it doesn't end the game on its own. It's just one of the better cards that I have. They've got a Ponder. They chose to shuffle. You love to see it. Grim Lavamancer, not very exciting in this matchup. It's just a case of what else am I going to put in? I think just a creature with power and toughness that maximizes my 1-drops, maximizes my repeatable sources of damage, is going to be better than some random, like, I don't even know what I would bring in, like Smash to Smithereens and hope to hit a Lotus Petal. I think Lavamancer sounds better than that. Getting my thoughts seized. They're going to get my Eidolon. I have 7 more hits that replace that card. Let's find some of them. I use my fetch land. I've drawn 4 lands, which is normally not where Burn wants to be. And this game is no different. I'm going to run out my Swift Spear and suspend Riftbolt. I think that does more damage than trying to invest in Lavamancer. I could hardcast Riftbolt next turn and attack with 3 creatures. Yeah, maybe that's better, because if I don't cast Lavamancer now, it's never going to have any text. Like, the turn 3, wait a turn to untap on turn 4 Lavamancer is not going to be a game against Storm. Ooh, they just passed the turn right back. They didn't do anything. crazy. Spike you. Then I get to attack for 4, suspend Rift Bolt, and then zap them with Lavamancer also. The life total's dripping away quick over there. Yeah, if they just like Abrupt Decay one of my Swift Spheres here, that's a deal. It's already dealt a bunch of damage. Keep it going. Suspend Rift Bolt. Now discard spells or dead draws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They're actually dead on board right now. Between the Prowess and 2 Lavamancer activations, they have to win right now, or remove one of my creatures again. They're passing priority. They must have another removal spell, or they're just hoping I mess up, I guess. Take 2, Rift Bolt, puts you to 4. Then I'm attacking for 2 and pinging you for 2. Take 3, Prowess trigger. They're playing like they have Abrupt Decay. Let's beat them up for it. Playing this pre-combat, I don't think they could win anymore. Like, even if they answer the Swift Spear, the first spell they cast kills them because they're at 2. And they agree with my assessment. Another quick one, but this time in our favor. On to the next round. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. We won a die roll, finally, and we have an unplayable hand. I'm going to mulligan this no-lander. Oh, baby, I'm going to keep this one-lander with Triple Goblin Guide. I think Price of Progress is the bottom here. It's either Price or Fire Blast, and I think it's Price. We're going in. Blaze deck. If there are magic gods in the sky, RNGesus take the wheel. Let's draw that mountain next turn and be able to triple guide. Here comes the first one. Opponent mulled to 6. We're about to know what they're up to with the Goblin Guide. Urza's Saga entered the revealed card zone. Okay. That's a good card. Taiga and Urza Saga. Is this lands? Maybe I shouldn't have bottomed that Price of Progress. Maze of Ith, huh? How about a mountain? No chance. Alright. Well, I guess I probably should have played Guide. In my head, I was like, this one doesn't give them a second trigger, but it also does 1 less damage, which sucks. Yeah, maybe I just gotta go in and be like, here are my cards. Deal as much damage as possible. Okay, there's a Price of Progress in the bottom of my deck, so I want to draw a fetch land, shuffle that back in, and then also deploy all my creatures. Once they start holding up crop rotation, they could get Glacial Chasm at will, and this Rishadan Port is just a complete nightmare. This one came off the rails quick. They port me, I bolt. I do have something to do with my mana here. Hopefully I draw another one. Get this Goblin Guide in. FML. Now I think we're dead. I think we had a window there to keep pushing for damage. And now we're just sort of farting around. Play from the Loam is their draw this turn. Thespian Stage. That copying Maze of Ith is real bad for me. Ghost Quarter. Okay. I don't mind a Ghost Quarter. I have a lot of basics in my deck. I mean, that's 1 less raw land I can draw, but mostly whatever. Ooh, they just let me get to my draw step. If they have crop rotation, I am dead. Merit Lage anyway, so I'm just gonna push in all of my damage. I have Fire Blast up at this point. Let's light it up. There's crop rotation, so they get Dark Depths, they make Merit Lage, they block, they maze, they take 3, and 9 minus 4 is not 0, so we're dead. Okay. Yeah, this one... Imagine the same game if they just simply don't have Maze of Ith in their opening hand, all natural. Or they simply... if I had 2 lands. Like, that was close. It was just the classic burn problem of, like, these are the cards in my hand. I don't think that was a mulligan. I think that was a good hand all around. What is good here? I definitely want the Price of Progress, obviously. They're a deck called lands. Smash to Smithereens will have targets. Searing Blaze probably won't. Meltdown could play. I don't think I want Ensnaring Bridge for Dark Depths, because a lot of the time this deck is making a lot slower than the Turbo Depths deck. And I don't have to worry about it like on turn 3. It's something I can race out of this deck versus just being dead against the Hex Mage builds. Oh, the Blazes are definitely coming out. Price of Progress definitely coming in, and I'm bringing in one Smash. Now, Meltdown and another Smash are on the table here, but what do I cut if that's the plan? I could get rid of the Lavamancers, but this is a matchup that could get grindy, and this is another thing that deals more than 2 damage. We've seen Urza Saga, so we know there are hits for Meltdown, the constructs at the very least. But is that the type of game I want to play here? And would I rather Smash if I am playing that game? I think I would rather Smash. And I think that's probably better than the Grim Lavamancers, because this is also a Punishing Fire deck, and that's the sort of thing that can happen. Like, those are the sort of trades you can't really make with Burn. Like, these just 1-for-1. Like, here's my creature. Okay, Punishing Fire it. Okay. And I lost a whole card while dealing no damage. I'm just gonna avoid that as much as I can. This is a good spread of stuff. Opponent kept 7. Goblin Guy, let's go. I probably should have actually fetched there, just to have fewer lands to draw in my deck. I boarded out all of the things that care about land drops or fetch lands. So that was a minor misoptimization. There's the Punishing Fire. That was the right read. Unfortunately, this Mox Diamond means they're going to be able to fire my Goblin Guide right away. You have a Maya. Okay. Exploration. Alright, yeah, their hand's real good. Price of Progress. Save me. Drew a Mountain. If I fetched, that would have been slightly less likely. I think that I am not going to attack with my Goblin Guide, because they can just kill it, and that's a trigger. So I'll make them either kill it without getting a trigger, or just hold up mana forever. I think they'll just kill it. Yeah, alright, it's gone. That was happening regardless. Maze of Ith, okay. Sylvan Library, Brave. I'll fetch in the end step. Just fewer lands in the deck, get rid of them. Now they have Maze of Ith, so I'm looking for burn spells, and I'm just trying to maneuver this Price of Progress into action. Lava Spike, fuck yeah. Spike ya. Price of Progress is good for 2, 4, 6 right now. Not quite there. But I can pop and Fire Blast. That's a lot of damage at instant speed. The play gets blown out by Crop Rotation for Glacial Chasm, but that will only counter one of the 2 spells. And as a lands player, they're going to be keenly aware that Price of Progress is a thing I might have. I'm going to wait, because if they go for Merit Lage, I can pop in response. If I pop, they can go for Merit Lage in response. And I actually have them dead right now, if they go for it. Alright, do you have the Crop Rotation? Alright, the pop resolved. How's the Fire Blast? We did it. Okay. Yeah, they went for it a little early there. I'm not sure what they have to do there. Do they have to maneuver like Glacial Chasm into play first? But if they do that, they play into normal non-pop burn spells. But yeah, we just got them there. The important thing was not popping in the end step, making them take the first move. Punishing Fire confirmed. That's not a card that I want to have Grim Lavamancer in my deck against. There's not going to really be targets for Searing Blaze, and Meltdown is still too reactive. So no new information from that game that would make me want to change my sideboard plan. Back in we go. Another no-lander. Heartbreaking. Okay, this one's got some action. I'm going to bottom one of the lands and then just throw fire at them and hope we win. Now that they've seen the Price of Progress, I mean, they should have assumed that I have it, but getting popped out like that, they might play weird this game and give me more time than they really should. I'm kind of hoping that they do weird stuff. Mox Diamond, Forest. Okay. Is there like a Galaxy Brain thing I can do to play around Punishing Fire here? I think if I just spike them, Like, I don't need to run into Punishing Fire right now with my Goblin Guide. That can get in for 2 later, after they spend some mana on something different. It does have haste. It turns on Skewer all the same. Not leading on Goblin Guide might indicate to them that I don't have a creature, which might tap them low at some point. Fire Blast, always welcome in my hand. I'm going to Chain Lightning and Skewer them. They don't have double red to chain me back right now. And Skewer you with Spectacle. Tick-tock. If they just play Dark Depths from hand this turn, that sucks. They're copying Basic Forest. Alright, yeah, they're playing around Pop. There's Urza Saga. That's a pretty good target for Thespian Stage. Come on, damage dealing spells. Put them in my hand. Shit. Okay, I've sat on this as long as I am going to. It's time to get in. Moment of truth. Oh, there's a Punishing Fire on top of the deck if there's not one already in their hand. There was one already in their hand. I'm a genius. Now they have another one, and Saga is ticking. I think we're losing it. The 4th land was a huge hit. And they have played this game very smartly around Price of Progress, like I thought they might. Even to the point of discarding Grove of the Burn Willows when they have Punishing Fire online. That's how much they don't want to get popped right now. Which makes sense. Time to draw some Smash to Smithereens. That's what I want. Once you pop, the fun don't stop. If they copy their Saga in my end step, which is a play they do want to make, I think I pop them at that point. Or like whenever they copy Saga, because they do want to turn Stage into a construct machine eventually. Yeah, they should just make some constructs first. Let's see how they handle this main phase. Okay, they are copying the Saga. That gives me 4 damage off Price of Progress right now. I don't think I'm going to get more than that later. Puts them to 7. Okay, let's see if they have some dope artifact. Oh, they didn't even look. They just put their card in the graveyard. Okay, I just got to draw a Lightning Bolt and I win. Any Lightning Bolt or variation thereof. That'll do. Rift Bolt you. Zap. And Fire Blast. They could Crop Rotate right now, but let's hope they don't have it. I don't think they're going to tap out of Crop Rotation at any point this game. So just like make them have it or they die. So that was 2 games in a row where they pushed a little harder than they needed to with Thespian Stage and they lost for it. 2 games in a row where Price of Progress found the spot to do exactly enough damage that it needed to. 2 games in a row where they died to exactly 0. The Exactsies. So I believe that it's easy from the burn side to be like, oh yeah, my opponent ran right into that. But from the other side, it's like, you know, what if they have nothing? Or like, what if it's just like bolt, 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 and they don't even have Price of Progress, and I threw my Saga in the graveyard for no gain? Like, it's a tough balance, but we just managed to thread the needle there. Next round. I'm on the play for the 4th round with this absolute banger. I'm going to keep it. I got threats, I got spells, I got land drops to go with this Searing Blaze. Time to light it up. Crack a fetch land. Just choose one at random, doesn't matter. In we go. My opponent seemed like kind of excited to be paired against me. This is probably so disappointing. Okay, Swords to Plowshares. This is what I was talking about in the deck tech. If we have the same hand, but these are Ragavans, I've done 0 damage, and we got a 1-for-1 trade. These Searing Blazes are going to end up being pretty bad, unfortunately. But I can deal damage along the way. I'm going to fetch, and I could Chain Lightning now to get the extra damage, but I think I want a Rift Bolt. And just maximize damage next turn. Ethereal Forager. I hope they're dead before that comes in. And they shuffled it away anyway. Ooh, they're going after the Swift Spear. Bold. But I like it. I'm glad I didn't pre-combat the spell. Alright, Suspended Rift Bolt. Plow's been answered. Mishra's Bauble. This is some sort of dedicated Dragon's Rage Channeler deck. These Searing Blazes might yet have some life in them. I guess it could be a Miracles deck. Nice Wasteland Sucker. Okay, they bobble. I Rift Bolt. a flurry of activity here in the upkeep. Straight to the opponent's dome. There are 12. Draw a mountain that I'm going to hold on to in case they put a creature into play at some point. Brainstorm is on top of their deck. Oh no, they had a second plow. Bummer. Chain lightning you. And hold on to this land for the Searing Blaze. Even if their first creature of the game is Murktide Regent, I can at least go land drop, deal 3 to you through the Murktide Regent. Like, it doesn't have to go the creature. This is still a lightning bolt on one side. Oh, another Wasteland. Disappointing. Monastery Mentor. Top 10 anime betrayal incoming. Well, that was a good draw. A 1 mana source of damage. Light up the Mentor. Skewer the Critic. There are 3. Let's go. I'm actually really into this deck. I think this is a deck that won a recent Legacy Challenge. It's just like a mid-range Jeskai Mentor deck. It's totally my shit. And stick around to the channel because I have in my queue a Mentor deck. Just someone was like, play what you think is the best Mentor deck, and then this deck came along, and I'm probably just going to play some variation of this. If you like what my opponent's up to, keep an eye. Ooh. They can Wasteland their 2 Wastelands. Yeah, I think I want to wait until they tap out for something. Like, Wasteland can target itself is a thing, because the game asks you for targets before it asks you to pay costs in the steps of casting a spell or activating an ability. So Wasteland can target itself. I don't believe this deck plays any basic lands, though. So let's see if we can get them to tap low. Dragon's Rage Channeler is a 3/3. Alright, well, once you pop, the fun don't stop. See how many of their own lands they want to destroy. They have to have... Oh, I don't... Do they know Wasteland can target itself? They don't. They're just going straight to 0. Love it. Land. Okay. Not quite where I want to be. If I attack, their thing dies. I guess I also could have just waited. Yeah, that was loose. Yeah, if I just wait, their thing has to attack, and then Swift Spear can get it done next turn. Yeah, that was a really bad attack. Hopefully they're just on 0 permanents and I can win. Fetch land. You take those. Okay. Skewer the Critic. They can't force, they can't fetch, which means they can't daze. They went out on their own terms. Respect it. Though I did play that last turn wrong. I should have let Dragon's Rage Channeler clap for 3, and then Swift Spear is lethal with the Prowess trigger on the following turn. Whoops. Alright, Price of Progress coming in. There are Pyroblasts in this sideboard, and I saw that commonly in burn, and I'm not sure I'm sold on it. Like, you end up fighting over, spending a card to fight over having one of your burn spells resolve, but you could just have 2 burn spells in your hand and one of them will resolve anyway. I guess the reason for Pyroblast in that case is to answer something like Murktide Regent. Like, a single burn spell doesn't do that. 2 burn spells usually don't do that. So answering Murktide Regent is a reason to have Pyroblast. Also, if there are any specific cards in my deck that are worth defending, specifically, like if I want to get Eidolon of the Great Revel in through a Force of Will, Pyroblast is something I'm interested in. But I'm not sure if that is something that is important in this matchup. I just need to overwhelm Monastery Mentor. So Searing Blaze is in. They're pretty soft to Price of Progress. Wasting their own lands down to 0 permanents is a play I'm happy to invite them to make. I just got to figure out what the cuts are, because all of the cards are good. I think even Grim Lavamancer is good in a matchup like this. Maybe it's like Fire Blast Skewer. And like, I'm just like shaving random more expensive cards off the top here, which I don't think is good sideboarding, but I don't have a better idea. Do I need 3 prices? Like, they don't really want Wasteland in their deck, much less in their hand. The only thing Wasteland does for them is reduce the damage Price of Progress deals. Like, how many counter levels do I want to be on? Level 1 is Price of Progress is good against their deck with no basics in it. Level 2 is they can waste their own lands. Level 3 is they don't want to do that. I don't know. All right. I'm playing all the Price of Progresses until someone convinces me otherwise. Got a 1-lander, but it has Goblin Guide. It's got plays to make. I'm keeping. We're on the draw. I'm in. Fetch land. Dragon's Rage Channeler. You got it. Found the land right away. That's good news. Here comes Goblin Guide. You can block if you like. Force of Will. You got it. Force pitching force. So that Goblin Guide did 1 damage and him to Teract my opponent. I don't know if those are the right sort of calculations. Like, on the one hand, that Goblin Guide only dealt 1. Does the total number of cards in their hand matter in a matchup like this? Or how does... I'm just trying to think of like burn theory on the fly, and I'm not very good at it. I do know in blue deck theory, if you get to look at your top card with predict, that's good. Because then you get to draw 2 guaranteed, which is what just happened. I'm in love with their deck, by the way. I think this is so cool. I love a good home for Monastery Mentor. I am going to roast this Dragon Rage Channeler, though. It is turn 2, and they're already delirious. This deck is dedicated to making that happen, and they did a good job with it. I'm just going to roast right now. With the fetch land, I could have done this on their turn, but letting them untap into Hydroblast and such, I think is worse than just playing into Daze. I also think clearing the Dragon's Rage Channeler is better than getting Eidolon in right here. Uh-oh, this is a Murktide Regent for sure. Oh, Ethereal Forager. That card's so much worse. Deal. Well, I'm happy to see that. Quite. I can cast Eidolon right now, and then we can race. I could also Lava Spike, Skewer, Fire Blast them, but I could do that next turn as well. I could also Chain Lightning the Whale and Lava Spike them. Do I need to answer this Whale? Force of Will, it's what's coming out from under this thing that I'm most worried about, and it has to attack to get it. So that means it's not there to block Eidolon. I'm going to get Eidolon in. I think that makes sense. I think that does the most damage over time to my opponent. Here comes the Whale. They put Force of Will in their hand. Now the race is on. Fetch. Is it Mentor time? Oh, there's a basic land in their deck. Good to know. Monastery Mentor resolves. Ooh, Price of Progress. If I can bait them around into spending their Force of Will, this could work out well. Let's see. Do they value Price of Progress for that Force of Will, or is protecting Monastery Mentor the play? Force, pitching Brainstorm. Well, that's going to resolve, of course. 1, 2, 3, 7, 3, 4, 5, 6. Can block. I could just skewer their face right now. They have lost life because of their Force of Will. I could just go face and plan to pivot and pop them out. I could even block with Eidolon if I don't want it in play next turn. I think that's the play. Yeah, I'm just going upstairs. I'm ignoring Monastery Mentor. That was bait. In we go. Can't attack with Eidolon, but I'm hoping it will hold the fort. I have multiple routes to 7 damage. I guess I need to draw 1 more land to have them all available to me, though. But I do have Fire Blast plus Pop, which is 8 damage right now. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Ponder, straight into my Eidolon. They want to party with this Monastery Mentor. That's what's happening right now. If they cast another spell, they die on the spot to Fire Blast. They did not shuffle. Ooh, Wasteland. That plays around the pop pretty well. So Whale picks up Predict. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. If I don't block and they go for Predict, they just die. If I do block, I can untap. Oh, now that they've... Okay. I actually think I'm supposed to block. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. I am supposed to block here. I'm going to block the Mentor and just absorb a bunch of damage. Because if I go to 8, I can't Lava Spike or if I go to 1, I can't Lava Spike or Price of Progress. Let's draw a land so I can triple spell. Shit. Okay. Lava Spike or Swift Spear first. Then Lava Spike. I guess I could have played around Daze instead of putting Swift Spear into play. Haven't seen a Daze yet. We know Predict is one of the cards in their hand. Let's hope the other one isn't Force of Will. I'm going to attack. They're going to block. And I'm going to Fire Blast them in their upkeep. And somebody wins or loses right then. Bang. Force a negation. Yikes. Alright, we're dead. Did they have 3 mana up on their turn? They did, right? They just cast Ponder last turn and had 3 mana. So they had me covered either way. Though if I had drawn a land to Price of Progress and Lava Spike, I get through that. Okay, that was pretty close. That whale. That damn whale. I don't think the whale is important. Not enough to bring in Pyroblast. It's not Murktide Regent. I can kill the whale with any of these lightning bolts. I just gotta respect Monastery Mentor. As much as I want to win my games, it is nice to see Monastery Mentor just out-muscling a red deck. This Mentor with a Force of Will to back it up, and you get to clock the red deck. Let's go. I'm going back in with the same deck. I am not convinced that it gets better. If I'm supposed to have Pyroblast in the deck, make the argument. Let me hear it in the comments. I want to understand what the burn deck's priorities are. This is a great spot for Grim Lavamancer. This is exactly the kind of matchup you want it in. If they spend a plow on it, it means this Eidolon gets to stick. They bobbled me, they played Tundra, passed the turn. Another bobble. Okay. Yeah, you better get that in before the Eidolon. I think I want to just attack for 1. Because I'm spending all my mana this turn. I could, like, Chain Lightning, Fetch Land, Activate, but that doesn't sound very good. Just start putting these Eidolons on the stack. If they plow this, they still take 2 for their trouble. Wobbled me. Okay, they do have Dazed in their deck. Good to know. My spell is Dazed. And they were unable to spend that blue mana. They replayed their Tundra, passed the turn. Land is great, especially Fetch Land. Play the other Eidolon. This lets me commit a land to the board, continue advancing, and still have a fetch for Searing Blaze if I want it. Though, given the current circumstances, I think I just want to Chain Lightning. And, like, Chain Lightning's active now. The Searing Blaze is nice, but Lavamancer can also answer most of these creatures. They forced pitching Dazed. So good thing I found a land. Fetch land. What's the play? Blue, blue. Okay, it looks like whale. Yeah, it's a great time to draw a land right now. Get this Blaze searing. Oh yeah. Fire it up, fire it in. Bang. Nice. Chain Lightning you. And now Lavamancer is doing more by activating than it is by attacking, so I'm going to sit back with it. And I'm going to fetch now so they can't kill Lavamancer in response to a fetch land. Lavamancer is living up to its job. It's a creature that's going to deal 4. It's attacked twice. It's going to activate at least once. Getting 4 out of a creature, that's what we want. I'm just going face. I'm ignoring this Mentor. I can kill it on my turn if I care. But putting them to 5 makes any Lightning Bolt a live draw to win the game. And I play a lot of those. Not bobbling me. That's interesting. It's like they didn't even want a chance to draw Force of Will. Lightning Bolt you. So I just played into Force Negation, but they can hard cast it on their turn. So if I can get a pitch cast out of it, I'll take it. We got the GGs in the chat though. And they're at 2. Activate Lavamancer, shut it down. Lavamancer finally showing up. It's for these grindy matchups, and that Lavamancer did 6 damage that game. It could have killed the Mentor if I needed to change gears. That was a great role player for Lavamancer. Positive record is locked. Let's go see if we can 4-1. I'm on the play in the final round against a Yorion deck. Most Yorion decks these days are Death and Taxes. So having a land with a hand with 3 lands in it is not bad. That means that I'm ahead of Rishadan board. I don't care about Wasteland. I have a bunch of creatures. which I kind of prefer the spell side of the deck, but it's okay. I have enough creatures that I can put pressure on, make them answer that, and then finish off with spells, I think is what I'm supposed to do here. Oh, this is not Death and Taxes. This is a blue deck. Ooh. Is this blue-white humans with just 1,000,000 creatures in it? Is that a thing? Or 1,000,000 cards in the deck? 80 card deck? I can Eidolon here, or I can Swift Spear Lava Spike, get in for 4, or I can Swift Spear Riftbolt and play completely around Daze. I'm a little worried about Thalia being their play next turn, because the spell half of the deck doesn't want to deal with that. Though, I think if I'm worried about Thalia, it makes sense to have this prowess trigger in the upkeep. And if they cast Thalia, it means they can't daze me. They definitely have the Brewer's advantage right now if I don't really know what they're doing. They could Meddling Mage naming Riftbolt right now, which would be a pretty big blowout. Shit. Alright, they had it. It's fine. Make it work. Riftbolt can't be cast, so it stays in exile. Well played. I did walk into that. I can Eidolon, or I could spell, leave a mana unspent. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna Eidolon. And fetch, Lava Spike, and get in there. Guess I should have spiked first, but I was playing around Daze, and I guess having Eidolon in play, I think, is, like, if one of these spells ends up getting dazed, I want it to be that one. I took 2 damage, I maybe didn't need to, but it was not for no reason. No 1-drop with the Vial. Now they're on 2 drops, like Thalia can just show up. I can just hardcast Skewer next turn. I could even target Meddling Mage if I want to push in for more damage. I probably should have been more worried about Meddling Mage than Daze out of this particular deck. Oh, it's Esper humans? Okay. They're going to take 2 off the Recruiter. They're going to recruit for something that they can Vial in. Maybe Charming Prince. That gains life. Yeah, so they just get their 2 life back and add to the board. That's strong. Really didn't need a land there. Not even a little bit. If I Lightning Bolt or Skewer the Meddling Mage, then I get to attack with all my creatures. I don't think that I want to, or if I Skewer their face. Yeah, I'm just gonna play my land and Skewer their face and make my attack with my prowess creatures. I don't think I get to pressure their creatures right now. Like, I buff my team. They can trade off with Eidolon, gain 2 life with Charming Prince, but they're at 1. Or they're either at 1 or they're at 3 and have no board. Or oh, Strix, okay. So they're at 1 or at 3 with no board. Okay, they're at 3 with no board. That's a deal, I guess. Yeah, Strix was nice though. They hooked me with the Prince. I'm gonna leave this fetch land uncracked in case I draw Searing Blaze, which has to be my best card in this whole matchup. Yeah, they're at 3, and here's this Riftbolt in exile that would have dealt 3. I think seeing Vial and Island is a reason to expect them to have Meddling Mage in their deck, and I could have played around that. The Fairy Time Raveler, okay. Riftbolt is real bad against this deck. Blessing the Teferi, as bouncing my haste creature doesn't do anything. Not fetching, not attacking. I am playing Eidolon. They missed their land drop, so we know all 5 cards in their hand are spells. We know one of them's Charming Prince, and then 4 mystery cards. The Eidolon's kind of interesting, because they can just bounce it with Teferi. They also have Vial that they could ignore it with for a little while. But at the same time, the card's really good. There's the Prince. We go up to 5. I always think Prince gains 2, so I've probably been saying the wrong number this whole time. It's Scry 2, gain 3. I always think it's like Scry 2 or gain 2. But it is in fact gain 3. Charming Prince is attacking. Okay, that means I lose. If they can back that up, I got nothing. They drew a land this turn. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yep. Teferi, bounce your own prince, gain 3 more life. Yeah, okay. Makes a lot of sense. Wishing for Yorion. So they can Vial in Prince, and then blink it with Yorion, do the whole thing. Okay. They can't do all that if their Prince is dead. So I'm gonna Rift Bolt for mana, their face. I guess they will go to 1, they'll go back up to 4, they take 2, and they can still flicker next turn. Yeah. Alright. They are just ahead of everywhere they need to be right now. I'm gonna ignore Teferi. I can't afford to put any damage on it. Here's the Prince. They know I'm empty, so they shouldn't block here. I guess they would need a land to cast the Yorion. None of that's locked in yet. Because they did miss that land drop the other turn. Plus Teferi. And there's a land, okay. So they runner the land. Made Yorion happen. And with Caracas to loop Yorion, they go to 5 here. I don't think I can win. Yep, they go to 5, and just this giant meaty blocker is going to shut it down. Yeah, okay, we're dead. That was close, and it came down to me playing around the wrong thing. I played around Daze when I could played around Meddling Mage. At least now I know it's in their deck. Price of Progress looks pretty good here. Roiling Vortex going to be a big deal. I'm going to prioritize that. Searing Blaze gets high priority as well. They have the Vial for Smash. We've seen Teferi and Yorion for Pyroblast. It can also kill Meddling Mage. Though every other card in my deck also kills Meddling Mage, so I might not be in a hurry to mess with that. Grim Lavamancer seems great in this matchup. They were really worried about Eidolon for most of that game, so I want to keep that one around. Rift Bolt between the Teferis and the Meddling Mages. If they see it coming and shut it down, that's just lost. A card that's lost forever. I can still hardcast it for 3, but I think all of these other cards I'm bringing in are better than a slightly suspicious Rift Bolt. And do I want Pyroblast? Last question. Important question. And I'm not really feeling it. I don't think I want Pyroblast. I don't think I want Smash or Meltdown either. Obviously, Vial is a really important card, and it won them that game, but this 80-card deck might just not have Vial in its opening hand, and then Smash or Smithereens won't have a lot of other targets. Are they a Stoneforge deck? Is that something I should be planning for? I don't know. This hand looks pretty good. I'm going to keep it. I can Bolt on 1, and then Blaze or Eidolon on 2. Should I main phase Bolt them? Just show them who I am. Bolt you, go. I'm not going to do that against this creature deck. I'll bolt them in the end. Goblin Guide. Where were you last turn? Now they're holding up Swords to Plowshares. This is a little awkward because this is my land drop for the 2 Searing Blazes in my hand, but I'm going to get this Eidolon in. I guess I could have just held up Searing Blaze, but if they cast Thalia, then my card is just wrecked. Ooh, no plow. War Priest of Thune. Destroy target enchantment. Nice. I respect the hell out of that. Not even mad. Let's draw a land to just go off here. Not a land. It is, however, a Monastery Swiftspear, which lets me attack. If they block, I can bolt them. And even if they counter it, they lose their War Priest. If they don't block, I can also bolt them, and then they take 5. This bolt doesn't have to resolve. It's doing what it needs to do. That was a good War Priest, though. At least Eidolon got 2 damage on its way through to death. Caracas is their land. Skyclave Apparition. Burial deck. It's time for that land now. Nice. Mountain, Searing Blaze. Light them up. This is a really good target for Force of Will. They didn't have it. Cool. And get to use all my mana. Here's a Goblin Guide as well. In for 2. Revealed Island. Bummer. It's the land and it's the color they were missing. 2 things I was hoping to avoid. Okay, we got a Meddling Mage. Are they a sniper? think you got to name like Fire Blast in this situation. You just name the biggest damage source. Yeah, Fire Blast. What I would have done. Okay, so I can cast Swift Spear and attack with all my creatures. The Searing Blaze, even unkicked, will kill off the Meddling Mage. Okay, I have this 1/1, and then the 2/2 just trades straight up, and then the Prowess creature will also kill it straight up. I just put a Marsh Flats in their hand. They're blocking the Illusion. That's the best possible block, because Meddling Mage still dies, and I push the most damage with my other creatures. They are holding up white and black mana, though. Those are the two colors of removal. And Force of Will here does the same amount of damage as Searing Blaze. The difference is they get to keep Meddling Mage. I don't think I mind if that's the line. Swords to Plowshares, Rough. They're at 4. They have a Marsh Flats in their hand that, if they activate, puts them to 3, which is Lightning Bolt range. The Meddling Mage is dead. Brainstorm. That's cheating. We were having a good game and you just went and cast a card like that. Blooded Strand. That's not Marsh Flats. I'm going to assume they shuffled Marsh Flats away. Yorian's in hand. Let's draw a spell. A spell. Any spell. That's a good fucking spell. In for 1. I don't think I'm going to pop right now. Or go for it right now. Maybe I'm supposed to. No. If they have 1 counter spell, then they beat me. If I go for it now. They're at 2. This is old philosophy of Fire. If I just get 2 or 3 spells in my hand, they won't have 2 or 3 counter spells to deal with them. I just got to be patient. I'm at 21 life. They're not gaining anything. Another Brainstorm. Those are all good cards. Or Polluted Delta. If I had Fire Blasted them last turn, then Fetchlands would be off even if they countered it. I'm going to hold my horses. I'm going to make them respect a Flurry of Burn. Crack the Fetchland, go to 1. Now an unkicked Searing Blaze is lethal, but I do have the landfall for it anyway. Charming Prince, fuck. I mean, 4 damage is still lethal here. That's what I didn't want them to do. If they go for the Yorion, they're at least tapped out of hardcast Force of Will. No Baleful Strix. They have Yorion in their hand. Damn it, deck. Now is not the time to draw lands. So they have Yorion in hand. They had the mana to cast it, and they just didn't. They're showing me Force of Will. If they attack with everything, they're going to cast Yorion. Hopefully they just don't do anything again. That's great. I'm going to fetch, thin out that land. I still have a land if I draw Searing Blaze. Chain Lightning. Is that a card I'm interested in putting on the stack right now? And if it is, what do I target? I could target Baleful Strix and get an attack with Swift Spear. I actually think I like that a lot. Yeah, I'm going to roast the Baleful Strix. My Prowess trigger resolved, which makes me think they don't have Plow. So that would have been the time to do it. I hope they don't play any flash creatures. I'm attacking for 2. So they go to 2. And that means they're planning on blinking Prince. The fact that they didn't tap low the previous turns to cast the Yorion when they had the chance means they have force, or they have some counterspell that they don't want to tap out of. I think I'm going to have to just go for it if they Yorion, though. Okay. Or Yorion is the blue card for their Force of Will? Is that what's going on? They could get another Prince here to just soak up some life. Really needed a Roiling Vortex this game. Might still find one. This game is not over yet. I'm still at 20. I have draw steps to make. Soul Herder. Yep, not beating that one. Time to cast Fire Blast. One of us is dead right now. Oh, they're going for Yorion. It's the same thing. They're both blue cards for Force of Will. They're both flicker effects. I think they have Force of Will, but Yorion was their only blue card for a couple turns. I believe that's what just happened. Really wish I drew a Lightning Bolt along the way. But the good news is, if they have Force of Will, they go to 1. Prince brings them back up to 4. The next Fire Blast is lethal. But they recruit in the meantime, so I gotta draw Fire Blast right now. And I think I boarded one out, didn't I? Oh, that must have been a previous round. There are 2 Fire Blasts still in the deck. They're at 4. Come on, Fire Blast! Price of Progress! Okay, they're gonna go to 7. 4, 5, 6. I'm on a pretty quick clock from here. I don't think I can win this one anymore. But if I can, Roiling Vortex as well. Oh no, I definitely can't, because Charming Prince doesn't gain. Charming Prince blinks Yorion. Yorion blinks the 2 princes. I guess maybe they don't have time to do that, though. Yeah, they're just going to 7. They don't have time to blink Yorion. Oh, they have Caracas. They can bounce Yorion, cast it, flicker all the shit. Yeah. I needed to draw 1 less land this game and 1 more instant speed burn spell, and then we win. But now I lose instead. Alright, I'll pack it up to that. That was close. Unfortunate. Drew a few too many lands, but that's the burn life. Okay, burn. We did put up a positive record. I think we made some cool plays. Burn really isn't just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like, that's just not true. That's a common conception about burn. Like, there were a lot of decisions to make there. I'm willing to believe I could have sideboarded differently a number of ways. I'm still confused about when I'm supposed to bring in Pyroblast. Like, none of my individual spells are so important that I would end a second spell to protect it when I could just cast 2 burn spells instead. At least I think that's true. Though maybe it's not. I don't know. Sound off in the comments about that. Sometimes you draw too many lands. I played 2 Fiery Islet to try to mitigate that. Never drew Fiery Islet this league. Drew a lot of basic lands and fetch lands, though. Searing Blaze was pretty cool. Lavamancer showed up once, did what it was supposed to do. Goblin Guidance Swifter, still as advertised. Eidolon was surprisingly ineffective this league. I think I did like 6 total damage to opponents with Eidolons this league, which obviously that is a small sample size, and that means they spent a removal spell on it, and etc. I always feel like Eidolon resolves and I die when I'm playing against burn, but Eidolon only fine this league, not great. But obviously it's a great card. I'm not going to put too much stock in a 5-game set. But that's burn. I don't have a whole lot to add here. I'm not an expert with the sideboarding. Maybe you want more Roiling Vortex. This might be just a 4 of in present day Legacy, because so many ways to gain life exist. You could do the old Sulfuric Vortex, like the classic version of this card, but I think this one's probably a little better, because it also has that combo play of when a player casts a spell for no mana, they take 5. So I'd probably want 3 or 4 of this if I were to continue developing burn. Those are my thoughts on that. Thank you all for watching. Terrence, thanks for asking me to play this. Glad I was able to put up a positive record in this hostile metagame. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel while you're here. If you want to support or want me to play your deck, Patreon and YouTube membership are all available. The links are all in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.